Last time on Square Roots, it's terror on the high seas when Surge and friends encounter a ghost ship, set sail for Genocide Island, and surf a sea of lava. Later, Surge proves that he's a cat person. Sorry, Pashul.
Hey everyone, and welcome to Square Roots, the classic RPG podcast. My name is Jim Banks. I am joined by Matthew Van Zandt.
Hey-o.
John Zappa Brandon.
I'm going to forge some awesome new weapons.
You're going to forge ahead in this game is what you're going to do.
And Vanessa.
I'm Vanessa.
And, as you might know, this is a podcast where we play and talk about classic RPGs, like Chrono Cross.
Chrono
I'm just going to start saying the name of the game that we're
season?
playing in that intro. It's always going to be like, and then the game we're playing.
I think that's a great idea. I think it will add some consistency, and it will also inform listeners of what game we're talking about if they didn't take the time to read the episode title.
And it only took us 4.5 years to get here.
We're doing great here,
By
guys.
year 5, we're going to be golden.
Yeah. We'll have our intro finally nailed down.
Then we'll just have to master the content. But, you know, that'll take another 10 years.
Yeah. So let's see. We are playing Chrono Cross. That's a thing that we said.
I believe this is episode 4 of the series. Is that right?
Episode 4 of the series. That is correct. I feel like are we halfway through the game? I feel like we have to be, right?
I have no idea. I'm definitely
maybe.
How many hours into it are
I know, like in the guide I'm following, I am on part 3 of a 4-part walkthrough.
Oh, I'm only like 20 hours in.
Well, I guess we'll find out. So by episode 13 of Chrono Cross, we'll understand that we were not as far as we thought.
I'm 35 hours in as of this recording.
Wow.
Weird.
Well, guys, before we get into any more Chrono Cross, let's talk about how we leveled up this past week. Who would like to kick us off with a riveting level up this week?
I can do it.
Go.
I leveled up this week by watching a show. That show is called The Boys. It's about superheroes, but they're totally bad guys. It's not perfect or anything, but it's a fun show if you don't mind the really crazy excessive gore. And it has some good twists and turns. I believe Jim and Vanessa have watched it as well.
I have not.
Big thumbs up from Jim and Vanessa as well. I also leveled up this week by discovering a new-ish website that I want to tell everybody about. It's called Xavier Files.
That's what I was going to say.
It's called XavierFiles.com, and it is a comic booky website that kind of started off mostly just talking about the X-Men books, and now is kind of doing everything. But it's good, and it's got a good writing staff, and it's got a diverse writing staff and diverse points of view, and it's not super corporatized as of yet, which most kind of comic book websites are at this point. You know what I mean? I think GameSpot
It doesn't have like
owns one of
full
them,
page
and,
ads that you gotta scroll around. And
exactly. And they do some podcasts and stuff as well that I dipped into that I thought were pretty funny, and I think everybody should check that out if you've got any interest at all in, them X-boys and girls. Or other comic books, kind of in general. Jim, how did you level up?
Did you know that there's word on the street of a spin-off series of The Boys set in a superhero college?
Matt and I were just talking about that.
Yeah, and it's sort of a send-up of that there X-folks that you were talking about.
Is it going to be the G-Men?
Hopefully not, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Jim.
I mean, it certainly is not. If they make one, it's certainly going to be the same. Oh, yeah, no, it's loosely inspired by the G-Men parody from the comics, is what the website
Oh.
is what the
I
internet
hope it's
says.
very, very, very loose.
Yeah.
Well, this has been very, very loose. Listeners may not be aware of this, but I've ranted to the group several times about how much I do not like The Boys, the source material. I did read the omnibus once. I did really hate it viscerally, and it did take me 2 years to even give the show a shot. So
Yeah, it's show lore that Matthew was once in the middle of a discussion of the comic and he got up and walked away.
Mm-hmm. Do you remember in like the first issue ever of the X-Men how Professor Xavier was in love with Jean Grey, and he was like looking at her and thinking to himself like, I have to keep it a secret how much I love you, Jean. And then it like went away
I
and
remember
they
when they
never
retconned that
talked about it again.
isn't that a retcon from one of the terrible 2000s series?
No, I think it's from like the
is.
very, very first issue or second issue, something
That
like
would-
that.
That would be crazy gross.
It was really weird, and then they just immediately dropped it. That was back when it was like Angel and Jean and Cyclops and Iceman, I guess, and Beast, but he wasn't blue.
Beast. And it wasn't
Yeah.
blue.
Hot Beast. Although,
That's
you know, and they're both hot
unusually
beasts.
judgy for you, John.
Oh, is it my turn now?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I'll preface this by I think sometime in like the last year.
She's right. I Googled it. That's
Sometime in like
crazy.
the last year, I mentioned
Gross.
that I was reading some books by a guy named Nathan Bollengrud, who's like a horror writer. I read a couple of his short story collections, and I was very excited to see that one of them was adapted into a series on Hulu called Monsterland that I saw a bunch of ads on Twitter for. So I watched it, and it definitely tries to adapt some of the stories and mostly fails.
Boo.
The first episode and the last episode are good. Like, and there's some pretty like big name talent in it. Like Kelly Marie Tran plays in one of the episodes, and Mike Coulter, who played Luke Cage, he's in one of them. There's a couple of them that are okay, but it just like totally misses the spookiness and the hauntingness of the original short stories. And they're horror fiction too, which was kind of sad. But so I wouldn't recommend it, but it's out there. I'd recommend the stories if you want to read the stories. The book is called North American Lake Monsters that was adapted. There's another one called Wounds that one of those stories was adapted into a movie starring Armie Hammer and Dakota Johnson that's also on Hulu. But yeah, Monsterland, not very good. What about you, John?
I've mostly been working. But let's
It's not
see.
a level up.
Oh, but I've been leveling up my skills. Otherwise, I have played some TurboGrafx 16 games. I was bummed that Legendary Axe is not in that pack because that was what I've been wanting to play again. But I did play some JJ and Jeff, and then New Adventure Island. And
New Adventure Island's great.
Yep, it is. And then I played quite a bit of Spelunky 2. And with Julio, we played some Hot Shots Racing together. It's a very good. That's that very old polygon graphics looking new racing game. That's pretty fun.
Tee. Those game names sound like sex jokes.
Oh, Spelunky?
I thought you were going to say Hot Shots Golf.
Hot shots.
But what I really want to talk about is No Man's Sky.
What?
That old chestnut?
It's a game that came out like 4 years ago.
Yeah,
Was
a
it
while
that long
ago.
ago? Wow.
Everybody hated
And
it.
everyone hated it because it wasn't what they promised at launch, but now it is. And you can explore planets, and it's like a Minecraft in space, but you can like craft ships, and you can go on adventures, and you can name everything that you encounter. So I decided to name them after podcast hosts, and that was great. It's like a really, one of the things with the game is it's really supposed to be chill. Like, you can get hurt, but it's pretty easy to not get hurt. Except the first time I tried it, like last year, I was dying all the time, and I thought, well, this game's way harder than I thought it would be. But you can sometimes randomly start out on a planet that's way too hard. And if you do, and you find you're being attacked by aliens all the time, just restart because you just basically got a bad starting planet. But it's crazy, like going out into space, like building your ship and going out into space and then flying between planets. It's all seamless and really cool. The planets themselves, they're kind of similar. Like they just have like different colors, and sometimes they'll have, but they keep adding new mixes and new things to the planets. And there's a new big patch that came out this year, I think, that added more
stuff. Why would you want to go to a planet? What are you trying to do?
It's like Minecraft. You're building bases and exploring and finding new things. There is like an RPG style quest you can follow if you want to have some structure, but that's totally optional. You don't need to do that.
Interesting.
And it's about like tracking finding out where you are and sort of the mysteries of the universe.
Oh.
But it's mostly like a chill resource gathering and crafting game. But it's pretty fun. I'd recommend it, especially it's now free if you have Xbox Game Pass for PC. I don't know about for regular.
I'll look and see if it is on Xbox. I've wanted to check it out, but I haven't wanted to buy it. I actually might have a copy floating around this house somewhere.
So that is my level up. Vanessa, how did you level up?
I have been watching a cartoon, but not
called The Democratic Republican Debates of 2020.
Oh, somebody get these jokers out of here.
Whoa. No, the cartoon I'm watching isn't for babies. It's for grown-ups, and it's called Harley Quinn.
Oh.
I wasn't going to watch it because I really love the Bruce Timm cartoons, and this is not quite that style and not quite that creative team. It's much sillier, and I was like, do I really want to watch this silly cartoon? But then they started talking, and by them, I mean the women who I know who are like, this is a cool feminist kick-ass cartoon, and it makes fun of Infinite Jest, and I'm like, sweet, sign me up. And I watched it, and it does. And is. Harley Quinn, the cartoon. It's okay. It's not like, I mean, anytime I watch something like that, I'm like kind of sad that it's not Batman TAS or Young Justice or something like that, you know? But if you can sort of... Yeah. I just tell myself I'm watching like an alternate universe Gotham where everything is just silly is turned up, you know? It's more of a parody. It has the Legion of Doom and stuff like that. But it also has a lot of more obscure characters like Dr. Psycho and
Kite Man.
Yeah, who was great on the show.
King Shark,
who is adorables.
Played by Ron Funches. He's a delight.
Oh, Ron Funches is amazing.
And I believe that podcast favorite Alan Tudyk does the voice of the Joker on that show.
Oh.
Is he really?
Cool.
That's cool.
Might. That's just what I believe. And now that I've said it, I'm not sure what I'm predicating that belief on. I think someone just said it to me and I believed them, but I have not verified that. So this is Square Roots of Google.
It is Alan Tudyk.
Hooray! I've said it before on the show and I'm going to say it again. Just take some time to think about what you can do for Alan Tudyk today. Maybe you can watch Harley Quinn
Alan
cartoon.
Tudyk story, kind of.
Please tell it.
One of the guys that I work with, that his office was like right next to mine for years. He grew up in New York with Alan Tudyk, and they were best friends in high school, and they used to do 2-man shows of Star Trek episodes together. And then when they graduated high school, I think Alan Tudyk went to Juilliard and he went to business school.
That's a beautiful and tragic story, and I hope that they're still in touch because it's important to remember your roots.
Yeah.
Your square roots. Are we done here?
Yes.
Yeah, let's open the Chrono Compendium.
Somebody had a suggestion for what we should call it, but now I can't remember what it is.
The Time Tome.
Oh, yeah, the Time Tome. We just had the Tummy Tome, so we can't have 2 tomes in a row.
I mean, Time Tome also works really well as a phrase.
Unless we also called it Two-Tome, Two-Tome.
Two-Tome, Two-Tome.
Didn't Tummy Two-Tome sing that 8675309 song?
I think you're right.
What if we call it the Tummy Tome times 2?
Ooh.
Confusing. Chrono Chronicles.
Chrono Compendium. Right?
That's not what it says in the notes, Jim.
Oh, Chrono Chronicles. The Chrono Chronicles.
All right, let's crack open these Chrono
Now we're going to
Chronicles.
play a game called Can John Interpret Matthew's Notes?
All right, if you remember last time, we were sucked up into a dimensional vortex after turning into a kitty cat man. And on the other side of the dimensional vortex, it's like a Van Gogh painting.
Yeah, it's all impressionist
really
painting.
cool.
And squiggly lines. And there is a treehouse with some eyes blinking in it, and a tower that you can't go into. So now you can figure out how to get into that
It's
treehouse.
so frustrating because you can see the save point in the treehouse, but you can't get to
Yeah.
it.
They should have
I just
totally
wanna turn
put,
it off
like,
and go
an
to
entire.
bed.
They needed to have like an entire dungeon here. It would have been really cool to fight some enemies in this place and explore around a little bit. But you're not here very long.
There were some enemies, weren't there?
Were there enemies here?
Not on this screen,
yeah.
but in the next
yeah.
screen.
Oh, okay.
In the tower, there
The
were
Escher
enemies.
Maze.
Oh, right. I
They were
forgot
like
about that part.
weird little squigglemans. So you do stand on a branch, which drops a nut, and then a little person runs
A
out to
little
grab the nut.
person.
Oh, it's like a little elfy person.
He's like a little goblin.
She's like a little
She's
goblin.
like sorry, I keep misgendering her. She's like a little goblin.
Yeah. And so you run into the house while she's out grabbing that nut, and you go inside, and she's okay with you being in there. Her name is Sprig. She's an old goblin lady, and she sort of talks weirdly about fate and like what your purpose is, and sort of she's kind of what do you call it? Nihilist, maybe?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She seems like that there's no point to anything, and so the game's giving you a
We
real
believe in nothing, Lebowski.
She's giving you a real anti-pep talk.
She seems to indicate that
Which is a big help right now.
Well, she indicates that she's trapped in this place.
Right. But she does have a key to the exit or to the tower.
Which she's never just tried to go through, I guess.
There's monsters in there.
Yeah, she's pretty weak, and like she's a terrible party member that I will never use again.
I thought she was pretty good, actually, at first.
Oh, really?
Did you like
Yeah.
that transformation thing?
I actually never tried that. I just thought she did decent physical damage,
Oh,
enough
she
to get
transforms?
me to the point where I did not need to use her.
You
anymore.
heckin'
She can
guys ain't
copy
even tried to
monsters.
transform her. She can turn into just about any
No, I
monster
never
you
did.
fought.
No.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, I did do that. Yes. So she
demands to go to sleep, and you go to bed, and then in the morning you get up to leave, and she follows you and offers to come with you and joins the party.
Yes.
Ain't that always the
And
way
gives you
you
the key to the
spend the
tower.
night at some random broad's house and the next day she's following you around?
Mm-hmm.
Such a cat. Right, guys?
Yeah.
Ooh. Everyone loves this hot Lynx
Yeah.
man.
Everyone knows cats are horny, I guess?
Everybody wants to
Sure.
get that cat.
Well, you know how I know that cats are horny? Because I've seen the musical Cats, and they just
The
won't
horniest.
stop like rubbing each other and like looking like they're wanting to have sex. Like every character seems real into every other character in that movie.
That's the best movie. Can this be a cats podcast now?
It already is.
Sure.
Did we do a cats episode? Or maybe we talked about it.
I'm
but
not allowed to watch it.
Why?
Why
Because I
not?
swore when I refused to see it in theaters that I would make it up to my friends by hosting a Cats viewing party where we'd all watch it together for the very first time. And then came the COVID. And now I'm not allowed to watch it with anyone.
right.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
sad. But you can make up for it in several ways. This is the most catsy episode ever.
Oh, wow.
So first, you're playing as a cat man, and there's much more cat content coming
There
up.
is.
Should we do
So
some
just
songs?
imagine-
What were the songs?
Jellicle cats.
In
Hey,
Cats?
I'm a cat and I shake my butt like a cat. Look at me.
Look,
I
I'm
used
not.
to be Serge, but now
Oh.
I'm a cat. I used to be Serge, and now I'm a cat.
And that is that Jellicle cat.
All right, so we now
Lynx
Our
is a
musicals are-
real pinky putty. Whatever that. What was the mean cat's name?
McGillicuddy? No, McGonagall.
McGillicuddy.
Chungus.
McGonagall?
Something McCavity.
McCavity.
He's
McCavity.
broken all human laws,
Yes.
including some of the bad
Broken
ones.
all
Lynx.
human
Yeah,
laws.
that's what it says.
It's a line.
He's broken every human law. He breaks the law of gravity. Look, I'm not proud that I know all the words to all the songs of Cats, but we were all children once, okay?
Yeah,
He said
it's
he
a fun
broke
musical.
all human laws.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, he's
Even the
broken
bad ones.
every human law,
Like war crimes.
which means that he has served as president of the United States and then violated his oath of office because that is a human law.
It's true.
Yeah.
He jaywalks.
That's-
He's been involved
There are
in
a lot
Ponzi
of crimes,
schemes.
Vanessa.
He
So-
smoked indoors.
Smoked indoors. He littered gum on the street in Singapore.
Oh no! So you head to this tower,
He's taken every
and then open it
drug.
up. Yeah, that's one of the lines of the song. McCavity has taken every drug.
Cavity has rolled back the mileometer and sold his car.
McCavity helped blow cocaine up Stevie Nicks' butthole.
You know, this would be less of a tangent if you would just start saying Lynx instead of McCavity.
Right, that's true.
Tell me what Lynx has done.
McCavity poured his used motor oil down the drain.
Even though
Lynx
it had
has
one of those
stabbed
fish
kid.
stencils.
In Fort Dragonia.
McCavity has illegal fireworks in his closet.
So you go to this tower, and guess who's inside this tower? It's everyone's favorite now party member, Isla.
Harley.
Harley Quinn.
Harl.
Arl.
Harley
Are we
Quinn.
calling her Harla?
Harley
You
Quinn.
can call her whatever you want to call
Her
her.
name is.
I always want to
Yeah,
say
you can.
Harl, but I got corrected last time.
It's Harley.
Well,
It's Harl.
I say Al.
E.
Oh.
But
E.
we can. The game doesn't tell you how to pronounce it.
No, it doesn't.
So honestly, all answers are correct. And she's there, and she's like, "Oh well, do you think you're still Serge? Do you think you're Serge? You are not Serge. It is stupid for you to think you're Serge." And I was like, "Nope." I'm Lynx Kitty Cat Man now.
Oh, really?
He's like, good. I'm glad you've accepted your fate.
Why is Johnny playing the evil playthrough this time?
I agreed. I was like, because she's like, you're not Serge, you're Lynx, because who you are is just who the world sees you as being.
I was like, no way, lady. I'm Surge, not
Yeah,
an evil
but,
genocidal kitty cat man.
If I say use a shot, use a shot.
And she also seems way into Lynx, which Matt wonders, is this a kink? Vanessa, is it a kink that Harl wants to have sex with Lynx?
I'm not sure that Harl is human. She is human-like, and I'm really not clear on where the lines are in regards to like attraction to another species when one is animal adjacent and you are
I mean,
fae, perhaps?
how else do you get a demi-human?
Right, and also
A human had sex with an animal, and that's where demi-humans come from, right?
Yeah.
That makes
but also
sense to me.
Lynx can consent, so it's different than like a regular animal.
Lynx is sentient, yes. And
Yes.
as we all know from playing the Mass Effect series, the most important element of consent is species sentience.
Oh,
You know,
yeah, there's that
usually-
whole article on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guys, usually throughout the week we'll talk about how we feel about the game and what we're going to talk about on the podcast. I don't think any one of us has mentioned the demi-human racism in this game because it is insane.
Yeah, you're right.
We'll talk about it
Yeah.
when you get to the village in just like 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But before that, Vanessa, I just wanted to think, can you imagine like making out with a Hanar?
A Hanar. Now, the Hanars are those the...
They're the big jellyfish things in Mass Effect.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't
With
think
all
I
the arms?
could because they don't seem to have mouths as far as I recall.
Don't they say this one?
Yeah.
This one would like to kiss you.
What is this one proposing to kiss me with?
I don't know. I'm
Just
sure they
close
have
your
some
eyes.
kind of orifice or something.
Ew, John.
Maybe they have like a beak under there.
Yeah.
Under their
Oh, I don't want to
cephalopod
kiss
hood.
a beak.
This one wants to kiss you with
You know-
his beak.
Vanessa, your Falco fan fiction seems to suggest otherwise.
Well,
Do a barrel roll, Falco. Do a barrel roll.
oh no. I don't know if I've mentioned it on the podcast before, but I knew the guy who did the voice of Falco, so that's very uncomfortable for me.
Oh, I didn't know that. I'm sorry.
Very nice man. Knew nothing about Star Fox.
Oh,
He's just like, yeah, I showed up. I said the lines. Said do a barrel roll. Got paid.
wow. Vanessa's weird insider Star Fox knowledge. So, you get inside the tower, and then there's a little game where you have to like go through the door that like this weird version of Serge is going through. You have to sort of follow him. He's on the upper floor, and you're on the lower floor. And
this
it
I had
switches
no
places.
idea what to
Sometimes
do.
you're on the upper floor, and he's on the lower floor. And
I
that's
had no
how
idea what to do here.
And that's how you get out of the tower. She does give you a astral amulet.
If you did not
And-
save Kid.
If you did not save Kid. And you can use that to teleport back to the homeworld. And this brings you to the Hydra Marshes. Everyone's
Yay.
favorite part of the game.
Yeah,
Love
real
'em.
bummer to be back here, but it's really easy to avoid all the enemy
Yeah,
encounters here.
you just
and
get
just
out of there.
zoom your way out.
Sprig's like, oh, so can we like take this to go back? And Harl's like, nope. And it just pops, the portal pops away. So you head to Opasa Beach to try the amulet again, but the amulet does not work.
Did you guys try talking to so when you first enter Arnie Village?
Well,
oh wait, are
that's
we
right.
not to Arnie Village yet? Okay,
Yeah,
sorry.
just-
I went to Arnie Village first and then to Opasa Beach. That's
Okay.
why. Okay.
So so the amulet does not work. Something's wrong. The portal's gone. I think Harl says something like, well, the whole time pin of the other Serge is used now. And so there's no need for this time portal.
Yeah, something about how it existed because Serge was alive in one place and not in the other place, and now he's not alive at all. I don't know.
And yeah, I don't know why. So now you head to Arnie Village, and guess what? If you just like say hi to a villager there, they're like, oh fuck, you're demi-human. Get the hell out of here, you weird monster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They like react with like disgust.
Yeah.
Like the guy in Arnie Village is like, he's like, he kind of talks to you at first, and then he like turns his head and sees that you're a demi-human, and he's like, oh, gross.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. There's a kid who, like, you can talk to him and he's like, hey, do you like catnip? And if you say, yes, I like catnip, he's like, I knew it. My grandma says that the outside shows who you are inside. Filthy demi-human. You like
Your
catnip.
grandma's awful.
Yeah.
That reminds me of if you go earlier in the game, we may have mentioned it. If you go earlier in the game to Marbule, which is the home of the demi-humans, they will also, like, as Surge, they will also react to you showing up in the village by, like, shouting at you and, like, throwing a rock in your face.
Yeah, they're like,
Which
they
isn't
do
the
throw
same
a rock
because
at
they're an
you.
oppressed people. So don't start saying, "Oh, reverse racism" at
Great,
these.
thanks.
Yeah,
these
I was
Sounds
not
like
going to
it
say
sounds like
reverse
Marvel is
racism.
just full of bullies, man. That's what it sounds like to me.
There are good people on both sides.
Did this game need this? Is this an interesting thing to you guys?
No.
It's definitely well trod territory. Like
It feels like a lot for a time travel game to take on.
mhm.
Is it
It's
a time
old.
travel game?
It's an alternate reality game.
Yeah, I don't think we've actually done any time travel.
Oh, cool. That's what I want. A Chrono Trigger sequel with no fucking time travel. But yeah, this game didn't need this. It would be cooler if everyone was just like, yeah, there's animal people around. Just like you could talk to the monster people in Chrono Trigger. Anyways, sorry. Continue.
You can go see Serge's mom, and she's great. She's just like, oh, excuse me, who are you? And then you can be like, I'm your son, Serge. And she's like, okay, dear, have a good adventure. Bye.
I love how everybody just takes this whole like alternate reality body swap thing at face value.
Yeah.
They're like, well, you seem like you're telling the truth, so I'm going to believe you.
You do have two people with you that are like also. Though I guess, considering all the racism, having 3 demi-humans show up in the middle of town and be like, hey, your son got swapped.
So
It's
if
a
we're
little hard to
calling
believe it. She so
Harl,
easily believes it.
yeah, if we're calling Harl a demi-human, is she half human, half clown?
I don't know.
I don't know.
She's a weirdo.
She seems like a doll come to life. That's like the most but I guess probably not. I think that's just my headcanon. I have no evidence to support this.
I don't know. I don't want to guess because there's so many different types. There's a mushroom man.
Mm-hmm. But that
There's
mushroom man
there's a-
isn't a demi-human.
No.
No, there's a mushroom man and an alien. So like, it's not that weird if she was a doll come to life.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
she's a
Like,
real Gino.
we have like we have a Mojo. He's a voodoo doll.
That's true.
That's true. He is a doll come to life.
Yeah.
So she kind of believes you, but then Radius comes in and is like, hey, we heard that we got some non-humans here. What, you think you can beat me up? You think you can take me? Come outside. I want to talk to you outside. Come outside. You ever have someone ask you to go like meet them outside in real life? Cause it's weird.
I don't think that happens to women as much as it happens to men.
It happened to me once cause I was just being silly. And someone got really mad at me at a bar once.
Yeah, I've had people get
Can I
like
just talk to you
super
outside?
mad at bars because I was like not being cool or something.
Yeah.
Drunk
This guy's like,
people
"Well,
are dumb.
Yep. And I was like, no, I'm not going to fight you. Matt, has anyone ever wanted to talk to you outside?
Not like that, no.
Okay.
Certainly. I can't think of anybody ever like tapping me on the shoulder and being like, hey, we'll fucking talk outside. So weird.
Yeah.
One time, we can cut this out if you want, but
Sure.
one time I was at a bar and I wasn't doing anything wrong, but a bouncer tapped me on the shoulder and he's like, hey, can you come outside for a second? I was like, yeah. And then he kicked me out and wouldn't let me back in.
Why?
Whoa.
What did you do?
I don't know. I didn't do anything. I was like, I think like he thought I was somebody else. Somebody pointed to somebody and he thought it was me.
Oh.
Oh.
But yeah.
So did you just go home quietly?
No, I was with my brother-in-law, I think, and I was like, hey, I'm outside. They wouldn't let me back in.
Oh. Maybe you just
Fun.
had one too many.
I was not sober. That's for sure.
Was there a line outside?
No.
So, Radius then, starts fighting with you and, he's very easy to beat. And then he's like, oh, okay, you beat me up. I think you've got a point there. I'm gonna join you. Maybe we should go to Termina and try to figure things out. Cause he says that, cause he knew Lynx. He knew who Lynx is. He's like, you're not Lynx. You're not fighting with malice. You seem to genuinely believe in what you're saying. So let's go to Termina and maybe we can like do some investigating. So he joins you.
Yeah.
But, then you get to go through Fossil Valley and fight these little pupper things, and I don't want to fight them because their mommy gets mad when you hit the baby ones.
Or whatever. I ran away from the babies too. I killed the mom, but then I ran away from all the babies.
Oh no, you left orphans.
The babies are dumb. They'll like hit each other sometimes. They're just like,
We don't know what we're doing. We're just puppers.
I always kill the mother first. I don't want her to have to see her
that's
children
nice.
die.
At this point, you can go to the Shadow Forest in maybe one of the best side stories in the game. Jim, do you want to tell us how you recruit Fun Guy?
Yeah, so as you walk through one of these kind of underground tunnels, you come upon a boy and his dad, and they're trying to get at this mushroom that's in this little hole, but I guess there's like a monster blocking the way. So you kill the monster, and the guy gives you the mushroom, and so you just have a mushroom. It doesn't really tell you what it's for. You can't eat it. And as you're exploring, what happened to me was, as I was exploring these underground tunnels, I just accidentally entered this cave behind a waterfall. Mm-hmm. And there was a guy in there who was sitting at a fire, and you go and talk to him, and he's like, "Oh, you have a mushroom. I really want it. I'll trade you something really great for it. Give me that mushroom." And he gets the mushroom and he eats it, and he immediately turns into a very phallic looking veiny mushroom man.
Mm-hmm. It's a very Ninja Turtles.
It tells you his name is Fun Guy. Was his name Fun Guy prior to being a mushroom man?
I doubt
don't know, because you find out who he is in Termina, but we'll get back to that.
He has a really great spelling of his name. It's not like Fun Guy, like Fungi. It's Funguy.
Because
like he's a fun guy, but they pressed it together. It's great.
Yeah.
I have something to say.
Sure.
Say it.
My experience of this was a little bit different because I had been through this tunnel before. And when I came through before, there were a whole bunch of like fish jumping out of that hole and swimming down the river. So I walked up the ramp and I covered it with a rock that was there. And when I returned back, the little kid was by the rock, but his dad was on the other side. And I had to go find this bug at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, and I touched it, and then it jumped into a hole, and then the father jumps out because he's scared of the bug, and he just gives you the mushroom. I didn't have to fight a monster.
That's what I did.
Interesting. I think it all depends. I think this part depends on how you got into the mansion originally, because there's 3 different ways you can get in. I took the back way going up the cliffs, but I think if you take the like basement way,
yeah, I took the basement way.
If you take the basement
other
tunnel
way, but I went back and did this anyways to get all the treasure, and that's why I moved the rock.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So, so when Fun Guy sees his reflection, he is freaked out. He's like, we gotta fix this. And then one of your party members is like, well, the frozen flame might be able to, or dragon's tear or whatever, might be able to fix this. And he's like, really? Okay, well, I'm gonna stalk you until we find this frozen flame. So I'm gonna join your party because you gotta fix my horrible face and body.
Yeah. He is terrifying looking.
And he sneezes all the time, which is also one of his attacks. He is very terrifying looking. And when you go to Termina, if you talk to Lisa, he sort of mumbles to himself. And she's like, what? Do you say something? And you realize when you go back to the back room, Lisa comes up. Lisa is Lena's friend who owns the element shop in Termina. If you go to the back room, Lisa comes in and says, "Oh yeah, so my dad went off mushroom hunting. So like, if you see him, could you tell him to come home because he hasn't been back for a while? You know, he likes mushrooms so much he's gonna turn into one if he keeps eating them." Ha ha ha.
I just want to say, because it is confusing, that this is not a Termina we've been to before. This is a alternate world Termina.
No, this is home term. Haven't we been here before?
We've never been to home Termina.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah, we couldn't get to home Termina.
Correct.
Is that it? I wondered. I got here and was like, this place seems weird. I haven't been here before, but we must have come earlier in the game, is what I thought to myself. And I just kind of thought, I must be stupid.
Nope. We've been to alternate world Termina, but not this Termina.
Interesting.
This one doesn't have a statue of General Viper, and it's all occupied by poor A troops.
Yeah, and everyone hates them poor A troops.
Mm-hmm. So in Termina, you can recruit Van, which I'm sure Matthew has recruited, right?
Matthew Van Zant. I did recruit Van. It's a kind of way too long process of like a boy and his deadbeat artist father who won't sell his paintings to anybody but people that appreciate him, and so doesn't sell them, and a landlord that wants the rent paid, and and an eviction, and the boy promising to get the star fragment and to save not the star fragment. What is he going to get?
The Dragon's Tear or the Frozen Flame or something.
And to pay the debt, and the landlord's like, okay. And I was like, we're not giving that motherfucker the Frozen Flame. That's just a piece of shit landlord.
And then you see
Frozen Flame.
Van go into his room and he's like, I need to take these 3 things with me. I need to take my piggy bank. I need to take...
Which he slowly opens.
I need
because they're behind paintings.
Take my special cerulean paint.
It's so long and involved. He gets so much more than most of these characters, and it's so stupid.
Yeah, and these...
I love that his name is Van and his dad's name is Go.
It's real clever.
That's very clever, yeah.
It's stupid.
And
the dad has a bandage over his ear.
Oh my god. I didn't notice that.
He does.
Good.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's... You recruit him and he's going to join you. Well, he doesn't even want to join you at first, but his dad like pressures him into leaving the house.
Which is crazy because he is a kid and you are monster
like, Get
people.
out there and live.
You're a trio of like a living doll, a fungus man, and a cat dude. And he's like, all right, see you later.
It's pretty fucking wild, to be honest with you.
And, when you get him, the next person you can get is the blacksmith guy. His name is Zappa. And if you know, Facebook group member, Chief Hazard, he looks exactly like, Chief Hazard, but with some scars.
Wow. Chief Hazard Halloween costume idea.
Yeah. Chief Hazard could easily cosplay as this guy.
One cool thing about recruiting him is that you get the Smith's Spirit in your inventory, which you can use at save points and in the world map. And
it sings "How Soon Is Now" when you press that button.
Does it? And it's like a armor or weapon shop that you carry around. No, I don't.
Smith's Spirit.
I don't fucking listen to the Smiths. I wasn't born in the fucking 70s.
Man.
He's an awful.
Which is a armor and weapon shop that you just carry around with you, and you can upgrade all your gear.
And I recommend right at the start of this chunker getting the silver scooper or whatever it's called, the weapon for Serge Lynx.
Silver Swallow. Yeah,
because that thing does crazy damage.
It does. I definitely went and collected as much mithril as I could. And
where do you get more humors?
I don't know.
I'm out of humors.
But you can get...
every time I ran out of like a humor or a carapace, I would just find an accessory I didn't need to break down or something.
Oh, yeah. Because you can break stuff down.
You can disassemble things for some good like crafting material.
Where do you disassemble them?
In
the same menu as when you forge stuff.
You choose weapons, armor, or disassemble, I think. So anyway, you can craft your own weapons. You can start finding a bunch of mithril, which lets you make mithril and silver stuff, which is all great. And then
you can go, let's see, you recruit blacksmith guy. He's going to, I forget why. Oh, because you have Radius in the party, I think. And he wants to go on adventures because like no one's buying he doesn't want to make weapons anymore. And, his wife.
Isn't there something about his son? Oh no, he wants the rainbow material
that's right.
Yeah, he's looking for the rainbow stuff. Which this, the whole searching for the rainbow thing, that's a thing from Chrono Trigger I like.
Okay. Oh, it doesn't make you mad that this is in it?
No, it did not make me mad. I was like, oh, when I played Chrono Trigger, I also wanted that stuff.
I bet there's more things that Jim's going to like that relate to Chrono Trigger in this episode.
Oh.
Like when you find Gato's corpse, you know?
I assume
and he looks all strewn out, and he's written on the ground in the dirt with his robot finger, like, help me, I'm dying, it hurts, it's terrible.
No.
You find a recording of him
screaming.
Yeah.
It's like it's like the end of Event Horizon.
You find his robot
where I'm
body,
going, I don't need eyes. Sorry, John.
He's plugged into like a wall or something that you have to get through, and then he's like, kill me, it's fine.
He's like Palpatine. That'd be great if he was like Palpatine from Star Wars, that he came down attached to this big thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm sure
times.
Robo will ask you to like disconnect him. That seems like this kind of game.
It does.
Is it Robo? Wasn't his name Gato? What was Gato?
Gato was the other robot. That was the one at the fair that you can fight.
Yeah, that you got silver points for fighting.
That's right. And Robo was the one you
I do
fight.
like the idea of Gato better than Robo, though.
Yeah, Gato would be a deeper cut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you for whatever reason, you head to Viper Manor to go meet Norris. The general of the somebodies?
He's like part of the Pore military.
Who the heck is Pore?
It's like another continent.
It's a town. It's a town from Chrono Trigger.
Pore is the nation that was to the south of Guardia, which is the kind of main nation, the castle that you go into all the time in Chrono Trigger.
I remember they were at war with Pore, and you had to cross the bridge.
They were not. This is a thing that's going to make me mad, guys. Because this is something that they added to the DS ending of the release of Chrono Trigger. Do you guys remember Dalton from Chrono Trigger?
No.
I do.
He was that goofy guy that tried to steal the Epoch.
Uh-huh.
Nah, doesn't ring a bell.
In this ending that they tacked onto the DS version, Dalton makes his way to modern times and is like, I'm going to go to Pore and raise an army. And then he does, and he totally destroys Guardia.
Great.
And it's and then in this anime cutscene ending, spoiler alert, it shows the Masamune sword being picked up by presumably a bad guy in front of the wreckage of Guardia, and it's kind of implied that you know, after Chrono and Marl got married, that they were killed.
Cool.
In this takeover of Guardia. So Pore is this like militaristic nation led by Dalton, who I don't think you see in this game either.
I mean, this doesn't happen during Chrono Trigger, right? Like how long after Chrono Trigger is this game?
This is all stuff that was added on to the DS ending.
How long after Chrono Trigger is this game?
I don't know.
I don't
know that it says.
We need to find out.
We don't even know if it's after.
I mean, but there's the crash ship and Luca and
there is a Luca tie-in, yeah.
So
but like,
I would say
this is
20 years.
Yeah,
20,
this
30?
is well, I guess as long as Kid's alive, because in that DS ending, and this is spoilers for later in the game, but it shows Luca coming up on a baby with an amulet around her neck.
All right, let's not spoil the ending, buddy.
It's not the ending. It's not the ending.
We'll cut that out because
that's from the Chrono Trigger ending.
Well, we're not going to talk about it because it's spoiling.
But we played Chrono Trigger.
I remember.
All right, fine. And we played Radical Dreamers, which also spoils this.
Yes.
So you head to Viper Manor to go talk to Norris, and Viper Manor is all blowed up. And then you have to go, like, everyone's like, well, if you want to go talk to Norris, you gotta go through the back way, which involves going down a well and going through, like, this maze that no longer has enemies in it, which I think could have if you did.
It took me a long time to find this guy.
Yeah. You eventually go up a ladder and talk to Norris, and you can recruit him too, cause he's like, he knows that Lynx is dead. He's like, what are you doing here? That's weird. And also back in Termina, a bunch of soldiers recognized you too. And we're like, whoa, I totally thought you were killed.
Yeah.
So, cause the general and Lynx disappeared 3 years ago. And he's like, well, you want to go to the Dead Sea? Is he the one who says that?
No, well, I don't remember. No, you find that from the sage, right? Or no, you find the sage to get the song?
Yeah.
The thing, I don't
think
remember.
you want to go to that animal town, right? You want to
Oh
go
no,
to
you want to go to the
town.
Dead Sea. You want to go to the Dead Sea because someone told you that in, like, was that when you were, Lynx said meet me there, that's why.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
So that's why you want to go there. So
yeah, but you can't get in.
You can't, but he does give you a boat, so at least you have a means of travel. And then you get some kind. What do you think of the world map music when you're in the boat? It's like super rock, like 90s rock, 90s anime rock.
like what 90s rock band is it equivalent to?
I don't know, like the soundtrack to I'm trying to think. What's like a really 90s anime?
Akira?
Yeah, no, that's an 80s anime.
Is that from the 80s?
Yeah.
Thought it was early 90s.
Pokemon?
It's like, okay, I would say, how about Power Rangers music?
Okay.
Yeah. It's like that kind of rock.
Wow, 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 wow.
So now, see, Matt's putting notes in. I didn't do the draggy stuff because I didn't have time.
I didn't either. When Matt told me about Draggy, I was like, what?
I've never heard of Draggy.
Draggy's fun. You have to go back to where did we go last time? You go through Mount Pyre to get to
Fort Dragonia.
And if you do the first few puzzles, an elevator opens up, and you can, as we discussed last time, because Vanessa made fun of John because he checked the guide to see if he should go down.
Yeah, there's an egg incubating chamber here with some broken eggs, and
I found the chamber, but I didn't have anything to put in there.
Early in the game, you can find a big egg in a nest at I think Fossil Valley. Like that early in the game.
Oh, really?
If you get the egg from the nest in Fossil Valley, you can put it here, and it'll hatch, and it is a tiny little blue and yellow and green dragon named Draggy.
Yeah,
it's literally like the size of like a small dog, and it like floats around. It flutters around on tiny wings. Put a picture. He's super cute.
So when you do go to that basement of Fort Dragonia, there's 5 incubators and 5 eggs. And I was like, okay, this is some kind of weird Chrono Trigger reference. I think the broken eggs you find are time eggs. That's my guess. I don't know for sure.
I thought they were dragon eggs because it's Fort Dragonia.
Yeah, I think it's the eggs of the
true.
elemental dragons.
Yeah, there's a lot of dragon stuff that's going to happen. Because, there's a water dragon or whatever. There's a lot of dragon shit in this game, just FYI. There's going to be a ton of it later.
So no time eggs, only dragon eggs.
Yeah.
I dropped a picture of Draggy into the
my understanding at this point.
Thing, if
Let
anybody
me go
wants
take
to
a look at Draggy.
over
Oh my
how
god,
cute it is.
that's so cute. It's like my new favorite
He
character.
also is a red innate character, and does have pretty good attacks.
I don't know where Matt dropped it, but all I can see is Fun Guy from Jim again.
I did post a picture of Fun Guy in there.
Vanessa,
It's
try
dead-eyed Fun
scrolling
Guy.
down.
I do love that Fun Guy for some
Aw,
reason
he's
is like
cute.
wearing a leather harness.
Yeah.
I think that this is a fan art of Fun Guy, though. Fun Guy is not actually that veiny.
That is definite. That is a fan art. That is a fan art.
Fun Guy, I think we have to agree, judging from when we run into people that he's supposed to know later, the fungus literally took him over. That man died.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
he's a shell of his former.
it's
human
like
self.
like that one fungus that takes over the ant and makes them
cordyceps
jump off of leaves. Yeah, it's like that.
That's the disease from The Last of Us.
Yep, exactly. So at this point, you can also go to the El Nido Triangle to get the star fragment. Warning: Matt and I did this. And, we both got attacked by 5 enemies in a row in a cave where you got cornered and you, and I died not died. 2 of my people got killed the first fight. And then the next, I kept trying to run away to heal people and it was just a bad time.
That's so funny because I did this and ran into 0.
Really?
0 of these enemies.
many fish.
None of them.
And right here,
None of
when
them.
you open the treasure chest, they swarm you. It's
No,
crazy.
that did not happen to me. Maybe my game is bugged or something because the guide I was reading was be prepared to fight all of them.
I
really?
did
And I
it
opened the
too.
thing, and I opened the thing and just ran out.
I did it and got swarmed, but I didn't do it until later in the game, so it wasn't an issue for me.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, good. Yeah, those enemies are hard. So then you go to was it the Earth Dragon Isle or one of the
Sky Dragon
Isles?
Isle.
Sky Dragon Isle, and you find this a guy's like, oh, if you have a star fragment, I wouldn't go here because like this weird creature is going to attack you, and if you go like try to open a chest, a weird creature does attack you. It's
A giant, like, helmeted space alien.
It looks like the guy from Pikmin, kind of.
yep.
It
Yep.
does look like a Pikmin.
Captain-
It's like what's the little
No, it doesn't look like a
green
Pikmin. It
guy
looks like
from the
Captain What's His
Flintstones?
Face. Oh,
Yeah.
well, who is the green guy from the Flintstones? He was in the Jetsons too, right? What was his name?
Great Gazoo.
Yeah.
Great Gazoo.
Great Gazoo, yeah, he's like Great Gazoo-esque.
Yeah, he runs at you, and I did steal a really good attack from him. I can't remember; it was like a white magic attack,
Yeah.
and that was fun. And this guy is delightful. He's like a real Captain Oleander, right?
Yes, that's what it is.
Olimar, Captain Olimar.
I didn't understand
Oleander.
Vanessa called him another UwU character, but I couldn't nail down exactly what his
yeah,
speech
I
thing
said
was.
that, but I think it's more like Scandinavian UwU because he uses a lot of double vowels.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's all like double trailing vowels too, like at the end of the word.
He's like, "Hello, human. My ship is broke up into star fragments. Could you help me rebuild ship?" And we're
John, that is painful.
and we just tell him,
UwU?
we just tell him, oh, actually, like your ship might just be whole in the other world. So
That's
why don't you
right.
come with us and maybe you'll get your ship back. Oh,
Yeah.
that sounds great.
That you like sound like you're doing like a Borat, like Borat in pain.
First of all, two things here. One, he sounds like a really terrible Mork. And two, my level up should have been that sweet Borat 2 trailer.
I did
Oh, yeah.
not watch it.
I like Borat.
My
let's see.
This one, it's his daughter.
John, did you take him to Arnie Village?
Yes, I did. And I did get his plasma pistol. And
I
he
think
learned
he
the ability
does-
thanks.
No, I haven't.
Well, he said, like, when you do that, it says you've learned the ability thanks, which
Oh, I didn't know what
who
that
cares? I don't know if it's an ability you can use. It just says, like, that Starkey learned how to say thanks.
If you talk to if you leave the Sky Dragon Isle and then go back and talk to the guy who's walking around where you fought Starkey, he'll give you a window frame.
I'm using that frame
Yeah,
right
me
now.
too.
So am I.
It's amazing. And window frames in this game that you can get from characters are just like customizations for like the text windows and the prompts in the game. So, and this one is how would you describe it? It's like really kind of crude circuitry around the edge, but the like little trailing icon for you to continue is just a little Starkey jumping up and down.
Aw.
It's great.
It's amazing. I love Starkey.
You can also run over to Arnie and Arnie Village again and get a super duper gun for Starkey out of the guts of a swordfish.
Yes.
Yeah, because it like swallowed his gun from the wreckage of his ship or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's super powerful. I
Yeah,
like
and
him
it
a
makes
lot.
him, and like you can also give that gun to Norris if you really like Norris for whatever reason. But
Nobody likes
that,
Norris.
But that gun is great, and it makes him a really powerful character. Honestly,
Yay.
I've been
Yay,
using
Starkey.
Norris.
Ooh.
That's not shocking. He's like floppy haired.
Yeah, he's floppy haired.
He is fluffy haired. So you go back to Marbule and spend the night there, and the Marbule is full of ghosts. What you know are ghosts. They're like ghosts of monsters you can't interact with walking around. And
This reminded me of
if you-
something, but I couldn't remember what. What's another game where we like walked around ghost monsters?
What's this, Dragon Quest? Maybe.
Maybe
So if you go to sleep, you
Final
wake
Fantasy
up.
X. Maybe.
And there's a sad crying mermaid outside, and you go to talk to her, but she runs away. And the great explorer Toma is like, oh, hey, that she's sad because she's part of like this village or something. You can ask him about different things like what the monsters are. And he's like, oh, if you want to get to the Dead Seed, you should talk to the sage who's on SS Zelbes. And then just be careful of Captain Fargo. And when you leave, the mermaid's like, Fargo? Zelbes? So when you wake up the next day and step out, the mermaid wants to talk to you, and she's like, hey, I'm going to follow you. I'm going to come with you, but not join your group right now, but I'll meet you at the ship because I got to talk to this Fargo. So off to the swinging singles cruise, the SS Zelbes.
Vegas, Vegas, Vegas.
It's got everything. It's got gambling. It's got cats.
It's got signs that say Vegas on it.
Vegas everywhere. So what does that mean?
What are the implications of that?
That's just like the Jeopardy from Secret of Mana.
Yeah. Are they saying that they somehow know what Las Vegas is?
I don't know.
I feel like it was probably a weird translation thing. No, but they wouldn't have changed the signs. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's built into the graphics, I think, so.
It just says Vegas all over the ship.
Mm-hmm. Maybe that one of the alternate Chrono Trigger worlds is Earth.
Whoa, maybe it was Earth all along.
Think about that. So, frankly, this SS Zelbes is a happening place. Everyone is being served by demi-humans who are not allowed to talk to the clients. Which is kind of gross. I haven't been on a cruise. I hope it's not like that.
I've been on a cruise and I did chit chat with some of the staff. They were mostly young people from different countries. And they seemed fine.
So they won't bring you drinks and give you massages?
Of course
and all that?
they will. Like, if you pay them.
Like
if you go to the spa, they'll give you a massage, and if you're in the bar, they'll bring you a drink. It's their job, but they aren't like crying about it.
So this is the boat. This is the SS Invincible. It's the boat from previous, but now it's covered in Nikki posters and lights, and it's a fun happening place. I love this. This is great.
Did you notice that the sign in front of the little casino said Vegas?
Yeah, it does.
Like Las Vegas is a real place in this world.
No.
Or
Wow,
a
Jim.
concept
Wow.
that one associates with gambling.
We
notice
definitely didn't
that.
just talk about this for 5 minutes.
Oh,
Jim.
sorry. I did get up for a minute.
I was sitting right here. I didn't hear them speak a word about this.
It's because you tune us out when John and I talk to each other. You're like, oh, they must be talking about girly gay stuff.
Girly gay stuff. So if you go talk to Fargo, he's like, hey, wanna play roulette against me? But hold on, I gotta talk to my mermaid ex-wife about our son, who's also here in the worst written exposition in the game. Where Nikki walks in, he's like, wait, are you saying that you're my father? And she's my mother? What?
And Fargo's like, maybe I used to be, but I'm not anymore. And he's like, Dad. And then, he has like a bureau that has a scratch on it. And Nikki's like,
yeah, that's how he figures it out.
It's my mother's bureau. And here's the scratch I made as a kid. Dad? Then Fargo's like, get the heck out of here. Not interested.
And so basically Nikki wants to get this mermaid song from Fargo because he wants to bring life back to Marbule. And, then the mermaid, that's his aunt, right? The mermaid is his aunt.
Mother's dead, I think, is the implication.
Yes. So Fargo slept with a mermaid and they fell in love, but she got killed. And now since she's dead, he wants to see Marbule destroyed because it reminds him of her, because he's a very weird, selfish man. Nikki wants to bring it back because his mom was mermaid. His aunt mermaid is like, yeah, you just need to get over your wife and even though she was my sister too, but we need to bring back the town. He's like, no, I'm not bringing back the town. That town sucks. This town's gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Nikki's half mermaid?
He would be a quarter mermaid.
Why?
Well, because a mermaid is a half human, half fish.
So I
guess he'd be a quarter fish.
Yeah,
Where's the fish bits, Nikki? An investigative report by Square Roots.
Did you notice that Nikki has the Rachel haircut?
He does.
She does, yeah.
But it's
she has
black
a real
and,
Rachel.
and red. Is Nikki a she? Nikki's a he, right?
Nikki's a boy.
Yeah, Nikki's a
Oh,
boy.
sorry.
Nikki has
Damn,
exposed nipples. What have you been thinking, Jim?
Sorry, I need to pay more attention to the character illustrations in this game.
Pull a pic of
Yeah,
Nikki
he's wearing a leather harness and is like kind of white skin, like white bluey skinned.
Nikki is the singer, Mickey's the dancer.
Exactly. You do meet Mickey as well here because she's working at and I think are Nikki and Mickey. Oh no, she's the backup dancer. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't understand their act. It seems like one person sings Nikki and then Mickey does like an interpretive dance of it.
But then they also have backup
Mm-hmm.
dancers.
Yeah, because they kind of co-headline is my understanding of it. Because when they were talking about the song, she's like, I don't know if I want to dance to that. Like, it's always a negotiation.
I mean, I don't see Mickey posters up, is all I'm saying.
But
you do see Mickey posters in certain parts of the game. Yeah,
that's
you
right.
definitely see
Isn't
Mickey
that another
posters.
world?
No, Nikki posters are in the other world. It gets confusing.
There's Nikki posters here in Homeworld.
There are Mickey posters in Homeworld.
It does feel like they have like a she and him thing happening, but like one sings and one like just does like an interpretive dance. That's what it feels like to me.
Right. So Nikki storms off because his dad's not being helpful. Your Fargo will not let you into, what do they call it? The Grand Slam?
Yeah, because you're looking for the sage and you sort of figure out that it's this particular janitor, but the janitor goes into the Grand Slam area and then the guy at the gate's like, you can't go in without the captain's permission. So Fargo's like, well, I'll grant you my permission if you beat me at stupid roulette, which is their version of roulette with forced thoughts. And we'll talk about that in the bullshit minigame corner.
Yeah, it's not roulette.
No.
I did ask before, is it even a minigame? You can't win the first time, and you always win the second time. That's not a game.
Can you play it later, though?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know.
I think you can win prizes. It's just a wheel of chance. And it has double your money, win 50, lose 50, and bankrupt.
It's great because it's a compass, so it's north, east, south, and west, and if you land on south, you lose. And that's fucking it. That's the whole game.
So you go play roulette with him, and he does, once you start winning, you do suddenly lose, and it sure seems a little suspicious.
Yeah.
How many times did you guys try this, by the way?
Like to beat him?
I was reading a guide.
Yeah, to beat him.
No, I only tried once. I played it by myself a couple times before, but like I got to like 1,000 coins and I'm like, okay, I'm going to stop. And so I stopped and the woman was like, that's not enough to turn in for a prize. And I'm like, okay, I'll keep playing, but I didn't like maintain my winnings.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Yeah.
So you go, now if you go downstairs, you'll see the guy
sorry. I was going to say, I tried to beat him because I wasn't reading a guide at this point. I was just kind of trying to get through the game. And I bet I played him 12 times.
Jim.
I was trying to like time the spinning of the thing or the needle around the compass to be like, all right, if it starts on east, then I need to like wait 3 seconds and press it here. I was trying to get, because I really wanted to beat him, and then I read a guide and it was like, oh, you can't beat him.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
We remember Fargo is a cheater in the other world too. He poisoned us while we were fighting.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
He sure
but
did.
like I don't know. I was like, I'm gonna get through this. I thought I was just getting bad luck.
Yeah, remember this happened in Suikoden, which is a very similar game to this one.
Oh,
It
the,
reminded
like,
me of
dice
Suikoden
thing.
too. Remember that? I guess it wasn't a bug. Remember that ability
The
to
dice game
the
you could
dice
totally
game that you
exploit?
could just rob for like
Oh, the
millions
dice
of
you could
dollars.
get like tens of thousands
Yep.
of gold or whatever it was in that game. It
hundreds
was
of
so fun.
thousands that you could.
Yep.
It was that you could stack up.
I bankrolled my whole army
Yeah.
on that one.
This one guy just handing out millions of dollars. Well, I get better luck next time. These guys play me for pennies and I win that.
So you head downstairs and there's an inn, and the guy at the end like runs from upstairs and knocks some cats out of the way, and he's like, "Oh shoot, sorry, I was just busy upstairs doing nothing."
Mm-hmm. They're like, isn't that the casino that's above us?
Mm-hmm. So you then get to take in a magic show. And given that Vanessa is the world's premier fan
Yes.
of close-up and theatrical magic,
That's correct.
why don't you tell us about this magic show?
This magic show is performed by a magician named Sneff. Sneff is probably the best way to describe him is an offensive stereotype.
Oh, really?
Is he?
The stereotype of who though?
I thought he was supposed to be Chinese.
Oh.
I didn't know if he was doing that or like a weird Russian thing.
I mean, all of the characters are supposed to have a regional dialect from somewhere for the most part. So I don't know that I don't want to put my foot in my mouth here, but is doing a regional Chinese sounding accent in the game offensive if they're doing everything?
If that is that combined with the teeth thing, yes.
Yeah, maybe that's the thing.
That's a good point. I didn't look at his teeth. He's got two, I guess, I don't know. It's not like he's got two big front teeth, right? I guess.
He
I
has,
kind of, I just took
missing
it
teeth,
as
I
like,
guess.
as some kind of just weird toothless hobo type, but I don't know.
Toothless hobo.
Well, that's a lot nicer than what I was thinking he was supposed to portray.
Although I guess hobo's not really a nice term either.
He is doing an accent though. He does like have a thing that like a speech thing.
Yeah, I thought that was
Yeah.
just because he had missing teeth and couldn't like form.
Oh, is that why? I didn't
I
put
don't
that
know.
together. I didn't see
I
his
don't
missing
know.
teeth. I need to pay more attention to the character drawings
I mean,
in this game. I don't ever look at them, I guess.
Just looking through like a Google image search, some of his dialogue, his tick is that he like stretches out his F's and stuff. It doesn't seem to be like a
he
Chinese.
says fui and. So I don't know.
I didn't understand what he was doing.
Well, what
It's fun to read,
he's doing is doing his magic show. He calls for a volunteer from the audience and makes this young lady levitate. And his magic all involves him going 1, 2, 3, and then the trick happens, and then he's like, "Now I will reverse the trick. 1, 2, 3. Now you're back to Earth. Hooray!"
I did like him making the lady a chair and making the fat guy sit on her. That was funny.
Yeah, he does like light as a feather, stiff as a
was
board,
pretty
essentially. And then there's a heckler in the crowd who's like, "Boo! You can't do magic. Boo! I hate you!" And he calls the man on stage and turns him into a kitty cat.
Okay, I have a couple of questions about this.
Yes,
Well, I guess
you can't
first.
start with 2.
Sorry, I can't start with 2. Sorry, I was jumping ahead to the real question, but first, are these people actually plants? And first of all, if the second, I don't think the second guy is, but I think the first one definitely is.
You know, the only plant I know is Fun Guy. Oh no, wait, there's also Neopet.
That's
So-
right.
Leo.
Yeah.
I never used
But,
Neo Leo.
but no, I think the first lady, because like he says his only magic power is being able to turn people into cats.
Yeah.
So he doesn't have the ability to levitate people. So I think the first lady was indeed a plant.
Of course, magicians always use plants in the audience for any trick where someone might be injured.
Yeah, and the guy was like, he's a real heckler, he's a real asshole, and he's like, oh, you're not a real magician, and then he's like, and then he pulls out the one real magic trick he does know, he turns him into a cat.
Okay, but people are doing magic in this game all the time, so how is this an entertaining show?
When you recruit Snef, is one of his powers turning the enemies into cats?
I would assume.
You know what?
So.
I've recruited him, and I don't know. I've never used him.
I mean, we have a spell now that throws hundreds of cats at people, so why not?
Pretty good too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So your little gears in your little kitty head start turning, and you're like, maybe instead of being half a cat, I can be a whole cat, and that would be cool. So you do get Snef into turn you into cats, which immediately throws out his back, and he's like, "Oh, my back! Sorry, I can't turn you back into people right now. Goodbye." And you are able to run around the ship as cats and talk to the other cats on the ship. They have some great dialogue. There's one cat who's like, "This is my ship. I'm in charge. This is my ship." Like every cat is essentially like, "I own this ship. This is mine."
Oh, that's the cat that gives you the vor text frame. That's just a big mouth and the words are inside it.
Did you guys get the frying pan here?
Yes.
Yes.
Which is for a character you cannot recruit yet, right?
I don't know.
I don't know
what it's for.
I have not recruited this character.
I have
is
it.
what I'm saying.
I can make an educated guess, seeing as we've only...
It's for the chef on the boat.
We've only
You
run
just
across
recruit him
like
here.
one chef in this game. As a cat, we sneak into the area that we saw the guy leaving before, and it turns out that he has a giant magnet down there that he's using to control where the wheel lands.
Cartoon
Yeah,
magnet.
it is. It's a big, one of those U-shaped magnets that you have as a child.
Meanwhile, poor Snef is like getting tricked by what's his face?
It's real
what's his name?
dark. Like they're enslaved.
Fargo.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Snef is trying to gamble his way to freedom and always loses and gets in more debt.
That's really sad to me.
I mean,
like, it was really sad.
He doesn't, I guess, realize that he's like enslaved.
No, and like
but
he's
because
always
of the
trying
fact that
in
the guy
vain
always cheats to
every
win,
day.
it's like Fargo's a monster, and I hope we kill
It's
him.
really sad.
and not
He has like
recruit
these
him.
indentured servants on his boat.
Well, and he's not letting a town be destroyed because he's mad about his dead girlfriend or wife.
And he doesn't tell
His dead mermaid
He hired his daughter to headline the show on his boat
Son.
and didn't even tell her it's his daughter.
Son.
Or son. I'm sorry, son. Sorry,
Yep.
son.
He's one of the biggest monsters, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the other world, I've run into Fargo with Nikki in my party, and he didn't say anything. But he must be
Interesting.
Nikki's
Weird.
father in that world too, right?
Yeah, I think so.
But Nikki also claims to have a sister in that world.
Yes. Oh, and actually you do find out about his sister here because Mermaid Lady talks about how the two children, Nikki and Marcy, and how Marcy was taken care of by what's her name? The doctor lady who was raising her
Lucia.
secretly. Yeah, Lucia. And how they need to get Marcy back because she's very powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in the other world, she's one of the 4 romances, or whatever they call them. Divas.
No, divas.
The 4 divas.
Divas.
So we foil this plan by just taking the handle off the magnet thing. And we go challenge Fargo again, although we have no collateral, so I don't know why he keeps playing us, just to be an ass, I guess. And then he's like, "Wait, what do you have there? It's the hand. Oh, you caught me. Okay. I'll give you back
scamming
your
these
boat."
people out of their life and their service.
Yeah. Whoops-a-doodle. I'll let you go in to talk to the sage. Which you can do, and you can also go to this like battle arena place where you fight monsters against other monsters.
And I know you can recruit someone here. I didn't do this yet.
Yeah, I tried, but I didn't have strong enough monsters to choose from. I think your sort of monster dex fills up as you battle more of them.
There's
okay.
there's an item I think you have to get. I think that right now you have a bunch of stuff that you ran into. I think that the monsters that I don't fucking know. There's something.
Yeah, there's some kind of pot or something you can get
Yeah.
to get more
Thanks,
monsters.
There's a little girl down there who's like the champion of the arena, who I assume is who you can recruit.
It only, yes.
Yeah, I
and
tried to do this and got like
annihilated.
like she wiped the floor
Yeah.
with me because all I had was like the beach bum from like
Yeah.
the first dungeon in the
Yeah.
game, and I was like, and she killed me, and I just left.
I had a couple of pretty strong ones, actually. I had the beefy Catman. I had some like rhino-y monster or something, and I had like the stringy monsters from the Escher maze.
That beefy Catman looks like a furry render
Yeah.
model. Like he
Yeah.
For
real
sure.
beefy, wearing a Speedo,
Yeah.
lots of shots of his butt.
I put them all in my party in the first go, and then in the second go realized you can't reuse the in
Yeah,
one, and then
that's
the
what
second
happened
go
to me
realized
too.
you can't reuse the monsters, and I was like, do I really want to do this right now for another character that's going to sit in my inventory and not get used? And I just fucked off.
This seemed like another thing that this game didn't really need.
Yeah, probably not. But, you know, it's just it's side dishes. You can eat it or you cannot.
I mean, it's no bug collecting from fucking Rogue Galaxy, I'll tell you what.
Oh, I blocked that out.
What about bug collecting from Yakuza?
No.
Yeah. Ooh, I skipped that one.
You talk to the sage, and he is like, I'm not going to tell you anything until you fight me, because that's how everyone is. They're just all jerks in this world.
Yep.
So you fight him. He gives you a fiddler crab, like I guess a live crab that
Yeah.
will.
What is it?
It's just a crab.
Just a
And-
crab.
You can steal. There's a couple of things about him. One, you can steal all sorts of great spells from him if you
Yeah.
set traps. So I got 6 spells from him.
Wow.
6 powerful
Did
ones.
you stack? Did you run away so that you could come
I ran
back?
away, yeah.
It's a good
'Cause
idea. Getting Inferno
Yeah.
on everybody's a pretty good idea.
I got Inferno. I got that Thunderbolt or whatever.
Thunderbolt, yeah,
Others-
that one's awesome as well.
Yeah.
They're like level 6 spells.
Carnivore. Yeah, a bunch of really, really good spells. And one thing that he's like, why would I help you? My town was destroyed by you greedy humans. Why am I going to go out of my way, do emotional labor for you, just because you need my help? Where were you when I needed your help? You're all killing us, so screw you.
Why is
And you
everyone talking to you like you're a human? You're clearly a cat person.
Isn't that what he says to
That's
Nikki?
That's what he said to me, and I am clearly a cat person, but he doesn't want to help. But so he's like, well, are you going to talk it out or are you going to fight me? And I was like, I'll fight you. And then he's like, all right, here is a live crab. I guess this opens a door.
Yeah. Now here's a crab to be your pet. Nikki is there as well. And Nikki's like, I want to learn the song. And he's like, I'm not going to teach you the song. I'm going to go mop the floor over here. Well, I hum a little song.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
And Nikki's like, you mean? And he's like, I haven't gone back to see if Nikki actually uses his song. I assume he does.
Well, I went to Nikki's little boat here, and he's like, hey, I want to like go save this village. Are you in? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And then, Irene's or Irene's is there, and she's the mermaid lady. She's like, I'll join you too. I want to, I think she's got like all her vowels have, umlauts over them. So I assume she's like Bjorky. She's like, I will help you to rescue the village with my song.
This was the first
All
blue
the
character
I was like, I'm not even going to try to understand the accent that's happening here.
This is the
because it was on
first-
like every vowel.
This is the first and only blue character I've collected so far in this game, so I did immediately put her in my party.
Ooh,
She's
so you can
good.
finally
She
get
attacks
frog
with a
prints.
harp, and the sounds of her harp are what hits people. She do a lot of damage with those level 6 spells. That's the thing.
She's
The
actually
good
a
ones
really
are doing
strong
around,
character.
Yeah, the good ones, in my game at least, it seems like the good ones do around like 200 damage with their like big spells to like the whole group.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that,
totally.
And that, there's, and then some of them, like Sprig could only do like 100 damage. So they're immediately gone. And you get some of them can do a lot. So anyway, she's good. And
there's really like two big stats that matter when you're like to me when you're putting characters in your party, and it's attack and magic.
yeah.
Yep.
And if they have like a middling score on both, I'm going to put them in my party because rarely is there a character that's high on strength and like middling on magic. It's either like really high in one and really low in the other. And it's always like an inverse of that. But if you can find one that's middling in both, those are the people you want to have in your party.
I
to
agree. We can also get Sneff, the magician, to join our party. He goes to the gambling den and actually wins this time because the cheat is no longer happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, that's really good for him.
He buys his freedom, and then he goes to talk to the other performers, two of whom are Salt and Pepper. We haven't talked about that.
Were they? I
Oh,
wasn't
right, yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have like a
They
comedy
have
act.
like a kind of a really touching scene right here
and
where like
Oh, I didn't think it was
they
touching
don't
at
wanna
all. I thought it
lose
was
their
stupid
mentor.
as shit.
yeah, they're like, "Oh, Pop, you finally got your freedom. We'll miss you." There's Salt and Pepper, and then there's like two jugglers.
He finally buys his freedom, and they guilt him into staying. It's
he's
really
like,
dark.
"Now I can go, but I won't because you're my boys." And they're like, "Oh, ho, 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 ho." But he does say, "But I might travel with these people whenever they want me to." And
Poor Salt and
I
Pepper.
added him to my party, but never actually used him.
That's the name of this game. Now this is where, unfortunately, I've been having some problems keeping up, so I have to duck out. Well, I'm not going to duck out. I'll still be here, but I don't know what happens next.
Oh, there's not very much. We go to the Dead Sea and we use our fiddler crab to open the door to the Dead Sea. It's sort of surrounded by hills and shrouded in fog. And so, after we use our fiddle crab, the door opens. We go in.
Yeah, like a part part of it's the fog and everything splits, and there's like a little cave you can go to.
Yeah.
Well, like it splits and like don't your characters remark on how still everything looks?
Do they?
Mm-hmm. So we go in and we find Masamune. Masamune?
I don't know.
This was the funniest part of the chunker to me because Radius just like shows up
Yeah.
and he's like, this funeral, you can't get across here without driving yourself mad.
Yeah. Well, Masamune is
like,
there and
what?
stabbed into a stone and is like radiating red, evil ass looking energy or something. Like it
Well,
looks.
like before you even try, he's like, that'll make you crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, what are
we
you
find out
talking
why
about?
very soon, don't
No
we?
one can touch this sword, which has appeared in other games. And always has this element of madness, right, Jim?
Right, Jim?
Right, Jim?
Right, Jim.
Well, this is kind of where it also kind of farts on the Chrono Trigger lore, but we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So then Radius is like, I know it makes you mad because it happened to me.
Bum bum. And
we get
why did we come here?
We get a flashback
He
of
helped us come here.
He did. Maybe he didn't know it was here. I don't know. So we get a flashback with Radius training with Garai, a dragoon, and
Garai's a giant man who fights with two giant
He's
swords.
real
and
big.
is
He's the biggest character
awesome.
we've seen yet in the game.
yeah, he's like twice as big as
also,
One of the
any
best
other.
looking
I
models
don't-
for sure.
they were-
I mean, the monsters have looked
They were
really
a
good.
part of that club that that like metal underwear guy is a part of now. You guys know what I'm talking about? There's
Yeah,
like 4 or
yeah.
6 of them. What is that
The
called?
divas.
Yes,
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah,
they were.
He was one of the divas.
What do they call them?
the divas of the Arcadia
Acacia
Dragoons.
Dragoons?
Dragoons. Yes,
The
they were-
Acacia Dragoons.
Yes.
He is also, I think, Dario maybe's father, who is now the head of that group. I'm not sure if the man's name is Dario.
Maybe.
I
So
thought Dario was dead.
Dario is dead. His brother is alive, though, but I forget his brother's name.
Glenn.
Glenn, right. Right. So,
Like Frog, Jim.
I know.
Like
Wait, so
Frog.
Garai is Glenn's father?
Stop it.
So
It's not like Frog. It's not like Frog, John.
it's just the same name. Lots of people are named Glenn. Glenn Close.
Yeah, it's just a thing that they picked. It doesn't matter.
So, we see them training, and Garai's like, "Hey, you're doing really well, Radius. You're gonna be great someday." And Radius is like, "Ha ha ha! Thanks. I'll just take this sword, this red sword, and carry it around, evil sword." And then Garai is like walking away, and Radius stabs him in the back, and he's like, "Yeah, now I'm the best. 'Cause you're dead.
I'm the fucking best because I murdered you."
Yeah, I'm the best swordsman. You didn't see that coming." And then he drops the sword and is immediately full of regret. And he somehow buries Garai with the holy sword Einlanzer, which is the only sword that can counter the Masamune.
Yeah, this is the sword that's buried in the, like, when you first go to Termina, that's at the center of that shrine, like, by where you recruit Greco, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's that sword.
It's like, I hid the thing that will help us get into this cave at Hermit's Hideaway. So we go there. It's not burned down in this world. But he's like, "Please wait outside." And then he goes inside. I guess you don't have to, because you can, like, move around.
I just waited, but Dreggy was there, and I hung out with him, and he flies around and talks about how much he loves having friends.
Aww.
Aww.
So then, he comes back and he's like, "Thanks for waiting. Let's go." We go to the Isle of the Damned. You use the keepsake to kind of get through these mirror doors. It's a little loop-a-doop maze. It's pretty easy. And then we find the grave of Garai, and Radius is like, "I'm so sorry, Garai." He's like, "If you're sorry, how about you die? Because I'm about to kill you with my ghost."
Because I'm a ghost!
And you fight the ghost. Someone in the notes said he was tough, but I didn't think so.
Really? I had to run away from him once and, like, give myself a heal up and kind of rejigger my spells a little bit. That was really what it was. I had to move my spells around. This game is so forgiving with its runaway function. Like, you can run away from a boss. Great. And
it's
even
amazing.
if, like Garai, you can't, like, leave. Sometimes it'll lock you into place. But even when it locks you into place, if you hit the button quick enough, you can still go into your menu between and, like, move things around.
Yeah.
Because sometimes you really do have to kind of look back at your setup for your spells and go, like, this isn't going to work for this guy.
And then he's like, "There's no escape." And you just do it again.
Yeah, exactly. And there's some great stuff that, I don't always have equipped. Like, there's a diminished spell that cuts the elemental damage, which is pretty great when you're fighting guys that are doing, like, huge damage with big spells. I also pulled a gym trick and turned him yellow the second time I fought him. And then he wasn't hitting Lynx as hard, and it was a lot easier.
Yeah, because he party wiped me at first because I didn't really understand his deal.
You gotta use that runaway, man. Like, you can run away and
used to checking. I haven't really gotten used to checking enemy element colors. And so he just wiped me out quickly, and then I went back and I just cast a turn yellow on him, and it was like, and I beat him in just a few minutes because, like, my elements were just like taking so much HP off him.
Yeah. And particularly if you're not paying attention and you're not really paying attention to their color, and you let that field meter or whatever it's called turn mostly white or all white, they can really fucking hit you hard. I also almost got party wiped in this game because my characters all got burns or something. Like, they all had berserk and one of them was dead, and I was like, what the fuck's happening? And I was literally unsure if it was going to let me take control again. Anyway, so we fight Garai.
Yeah, and that's it for this time. We get the Holy Sword, and we're off again to the Dead Sea. What will we find there? You'll find out next time on Square Roots.
Ooh. I've played a little bit into the next chunker. It's very interesting. Where should we stop? I don't know.
Let me see. I have gotten sort of to the arrival at Viper Manor, and it's not very far at all. So let's do...
why don't we say the end of the second dragon then?
The end of the water dragon.
Yeah. Froggy dragon.
But I like
Did you say
Froggy
water
Dragon.
dragon?
I
Yeah.
don't want to fight him. He's my pal. He gave me
Okay.
an ice breath.
No
So
one
just for
said you have
soundbite,
to
so-
fight him.
So next, Chunker, we are playing to the end of the water dragon encounter.
Ooh. Everyone's favorite froggy dragon.
Oh yeah, it is the one we've already met, right?
Yeah. Rivet.
From what I understand, there's 2 dragons in Homeworld and 2 dragons in another
Oh,
world. So
interesting.
there will be some shenanigans
Oh,
next time.
shenanigans.
I do love shenanigans.
Does that mean it's finally
Yeah.
time for the first time in this season, I think, for John's bullshit minigame corner?
Second.
Kind of, I guess. It's kind of a rigged minigame corner, but
I mean, the monster fighting is definitely a minigame.
yeah, that's okay.
I haven't done the monster fighting though, but I have done roulette, and it is a spinny game. And so Vanessa, I guess it has more rules when you're playing it for real.
Its rules are, if it lands on north, you double your money. If it lands on east, you get 50 coins. If it lands on the west, you lose 50 coins. And if it lands on south, you lose everything.
Is this like coins like your real money, or is this coins like a
doesn't
special
seem
currency?
to be, but maybe it is. I have no
Oh.
idea.
Can you win prizes?
Theoretically, but again, I played until I had 1,000 coins. I guess it's real coins because you put down 100 coins to play. When I had 1,000, I stopped, and she was like, "Sorry, that's not enough to exchange for a prize." So I guess I just got the coins, but I mean, you have like, I don't know, 60,000 coins at this point, so I wasn't really paying attention.
That does sound like a mini game I'm not going to put time into. And we've talked a little bit about the monster game. You have to beat that girl 3 times to recruit her. So I guess you got to get some. I'm sure there's going to be more opportunities later to do this, and I will try it. 'Cause I want to get the girl.
Yeah, for sure. You can come back. I'm not going to bother with this, I think.
Jim, what's the next segment?
Squarely against. This is a segment where we talk about what we may have been squarely against or
I think
roundly for.
since it's October, it should be what are you spookily against? No?
And what's the scary
Crickets.
version of roundly gore?
Yes.
Ooh.
I'm gonna say that I am. You know what? I'm roundly for all the characters you can recruit in this chunker. I went from having 1 character at the start of this chunker to having like 10 or 11 at the end.
Yeah.
There's so many characters, and it's pretty cool.
And they're delightful.
And I like how there's like plant people and aliens and nerds and jocks. Like there's just lots of cool stuff happening. None of it makes any sense, and it's kind of great. So I'm roundly for the character diversity. Vanessa, what about you?
I'm roundly for Van. We didn't really talk about him a lot this episode, but Matthew's pretty cool. I mean, Van.
Thanks.
I know you don't mean
I
that.
don't mean that.
No.
Van, the character, the little artist boy. I just like a little artist character. It reminds me of Realm from Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
And he's got a little hat.
He has a little hat, just like Realm. He's sort of dressed like a little fancy Dutch boy. And
You know who that reminds me of? The boy and the robot.
oh yeah, Thomas or whatever his name was. And he has a special power called like Paint Blast or something, where he can turn the field all one color, but I think it's random what color he turns it. So it's interesting. John, what are you
I
roundly gore or
am
squiggly
Randy Gore
against?
turning into a kitty cat and then talking to all the cats on the ship because they're all fun. The cats are wonderful. They are jellicle cats. Matt, have you gone?
They've broken every human law.
Matt, have you gone?
No, I am roundly 4 Fun Guy. Fun Guy hits fucking hard, y'all. Like, you get these characters, as Jim mentioned, but most of them kind of suck. Like, Harley's really good, but she's also black innate, like Lynx is, so, you don't really need 2 black innate characters. So, finding Fun Guy, who's a yellow innate character, was super awesome. He has a cool silver axe. He smashes hard. His big power is that he bends over in front of an enemy and like shoots spores in their face.
It's pretty great.
And his name is Fun Guy. I love him. Also, he's creepy and weird, and he does have dialogue. I think that John mentioned that. I think that somebody in your party would have dialogue no matter what. But since I have him in my party, he does interact, and it is pretty entertaining because he is a mushroom man who is clearly a fucking a fungus zombie, legitimately, like a Last of Us zombie.
He's a clicker.
He is a clicker.
Last of Us. Guys, by the way, I don't know that we've ever kept track of this. We would never want to. Maybe in the beginning it might have seemed feasible, but have we ever all been roundly 4 a chunker in a game before? We're all roundly 4.
Usually, I think maybe we try to pay attention and balance each other out.
I never alter my opinion based on what y'all think. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not altering opinion. It's just stating a different opinion.
Who would have thought it would be Chrono Cross to make us all roundly 4 chunker?
This game feels legitimately, for the first time in 4.5 years of doing this show, this game feels like a lost gem. It feels like a fucking Final Fantasy game that's just a little different. It's so good.
I've dreaded
stuff is
playing
weird,
this game for years. I've been mad at this game for much of my adult life.
That's really ridiculous.
And I like playing it. I like this game. I have my qualms with it, but it's a fun game.
Okay, just wait until they dig up Chrono's corpse and like punch him and spit on him, and then tell us how much you like the game.
And they're like, here's the real villain.
He's a piece of shit, and anybody that likes him is stupid.
Turns out
like 4 out of like 17 chunkers during this game. So.
I don't know, actually. I looked at how long to beat, and it seems like the mid tier is like 45-ish hours, and I'm like 30. I think I said 5-ish hours in.
See.
But you haven't even played into the next chunker yet. You're just taking forever.
That's true. I have been I do play a little slow because I kind of put it down a lot while I do other things. So maybe my hours are pumped up. I would love to know what your hours are. You can look.
22 or 20, something like that.
That's crazy. But you're also not caught up, A, and B, it sounds like you didn't go get a lot of the fucking side characters.
Well, guys, what a game we're playing.
Also think, John, I do also think that because you chose the don't save kid path, I think you skipped a big old chunk of like dungeons and stuff.
Yeah.
At one point.
Too.
Yeah. Well, guys, now it's time now that we've established what we're playing to next time and what we like about this chunker, let's talk about, do we have any emails?
Yeah.
We do. Look at that.
We have an email.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put in an email.
It's a shorty.
Good.
I'll read it.
Oh, love it.
Hey, all.
Oh, look.
Relatively new listener
earlier.
here. Jumped on board with Persona 4 and am now working through the backlog in an utterly non-chronological order.
Chronological.
A few thoughts from this week's show. I only included one of the thoughts. I'm sorry. Sometimes you gotta edit.
This is a real shorty because Vanessa censored
it.
That's illegal in the United States. Don't you know what the First Amendment says?
Thought number 1. The one and only thought. I know why you're calling the quest log the Chrono Compendium, but really...
Well, he says Compendium as well.
Record of Fate. It's right there. It's true. They do call the save states the Record of Fate in this game.
Oh, I never cared enough to read that and process it.
I changed it, so now next time it'll be the Record of Fate.
All right, good call.
Yeah.
Can't argue
Thanks,
with that.
Ryven.
Little known fact for the listeners, we just copy last week's notes into a new document for this week's notes. So any notes
That's how I write all my emails.
Yeah. It's really
some more inside baseball for listeners. We wrote tonight's notes in the preceding 15 minutes before we started recording.
I did a great job, and Jim helped.
Yes.
And John did a
Great
little
I
bit
helped
too.
a little bit. I mostly was like, you guys are typing way too much.
Yeah, Jim did bail like 10 minutes in and was like, we don't need all this information, and then started watching the debate. For sure.
I
was
also
watching the debate
started
also.
watching the debate.
So, guys, we have what's called a Patreon?
Patreon, a Patronus.
Patronus.
A Patronision.
Patreon.
Be our Patronus, listeners.
Patron.
Patron.
It's a Patreon.
Patron.
And Patreon is a platform that lets you donate a little bit to the show in exchange for some bonus content. John, what kind of bonus content do we have?
Oh, we've got lots of stuff. We've got some silly level up episodes. We've got some movie reviews. We've got some instant classics like Detroit Become Human and The
Control.
Quiet Man and Control.
The newest episode, Control.
Yeah. So there's like 40 episodes you can go listen to. Lots of stuff for you to have fun with. And that's just $3 a month.
We also have a $5 a month tier, which gives you access to our voting. That's right. Did you know that sometimes we let the patrons vote on these games? You do,
No.
because you listen to the show and we mention it every single episode.
I guess I did.
If you want to vote, I'm sure that we'll have one more before the end of the year, and we're not really good about announcing it ahead of time. So upgrade now.
We also have one more perk, no matter what your contribution amount is, and that is whatever your Patreon contribution username, we're going to read it on the show.
That's right. This week,
We appreciate our patrons, and we like to read the weird names they come up with. So I think Matt is going to kick us off this week.
I sorted these newest to oldest this week, which I thought would be an interesting, fun fact for people to know. Or to hear. So this week we would like to thank EP, which I'm a big fan of, an EP obviously, but when are you going to put out the LP? We would like to thank Homeworld Lena Cuzzled, while another world Lena was a virgin. Cuzzled? Really? Question. What would Homegirl's version of Maidenheart look like? That is the one that has Cuzzled. I mean, the dark and probably true answer is that she doesn't have one. She doesn't have the maiden heart.
This is one that's going to take me a minute to really parse.
You know, I think that it's either going to be just the same because having Cuzzled or not having Cuzzled has nothing to do with their value and abilities as a person. You know,
Look,
or
one good
it's
shower gets it all off of you, so.
Exactly.
Don't time like morality to sex.
Yeah. To cuzzling.
Yeah.
Virginity is a social construct.
Exactly. So I would say she has exactly the same abilities.
All right, I'm going to go opposite Johnny and say that it's called Slutheart, and it's like fucking super like 90s PlayStation hot, you know, with lots of terrible fan service, and we hate it. Slutheart's maybe not the best word.
Slutheart sounds like an
Hard. How's
early
that?
90s
It's kinda
like
horny grandma.
Showtime
Promiscuous
softcore
heart.
porn.
So basically it's a Fear Effect. Remember that game with the where you could kiss a girl and it was all about like how hot these polygon girls were?
No.
Oh,
It was
should
called
play
Fear
that
Effect? How does that work?
Like
we should
based
play
on
that
the show?
for a PS1. I think it was called Fear Effect. Yeah, Fear Effect PS1. Let me see.
Aaron,
Show. Are you thinking of Fear Factor?
Eyes
Like
of the
based
Shifter,
on the Joe Rogan
Cassandra,
show?
No, that was Fear
Girthbound, Mom
Yeah,
made
Fear
some
Effect.
hodgepodge pie to eat. What? Joshua W. Broxson, TJ Miller's horny grandma impersonation, Jason Timms, it's peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly, peanut butter jelly. Dan, Jim Banks is actually Anthony Ranieri hiding from the pandemic in Texas. Soy Soda Pop, this game sucks, play more Mario or Mother 3.
I'm down for more Mario.
Hales, Tracy, William Westgard, Ivana Tinkle, Wedge Coon,
Ooh.
Ethan G. Pearson, Mostly Rational Person, Chief Hazard Built, Chrono Cross Related, Stephen Highness, Saving Sid, Jordan McNeil.
Christopher Highness.
Saving Sid, Jordan McNeil, still just Pashul's terrifying expression, Vanessa's gold Taco Bell PS4. Vanessa, does it have a Taco Bell symbol on it?
It says PS5,
I
dog.
hope it does. Oh, well, it says PS5.
It doesn't have a
stands.
Taco Bell symbol on it, but it did come in a special Taco Bell box.
That's awesome. Grayson, Lyriel of the Claire, Ari Kopovara, Andrew Leinart, and Robert J. Defendi.
And let's see, I've got Mr. Mallard, You Make Sulk Sad, Sexy Grandma's Boy Toy Is,
Look at the
Jonathan
giant
Smith.
fucking anime titties on these Fear Effect character models. Oh, it's an Eidos game.
Grey Code, Isaac Wright, Justin Rash, Matthew Newland, Andrew O, Alexander Jokic, Listen Up, Scoot Stains, Chris Wilder, Joshua Bennett, Hexagon, Armin Hammer, Hudson Roth, Andy Smith, Pashushu, they spontaneously combust with it was terrible. Amanda Douglas, Christian Go, Sergeant Spaghetti, Chris Ryan, Kevin Walter, Matthew Casterline, Adam Zimmerman, That One Guy, Stephen Paget, Paul Birch, Alex Dillard, Cake Ninja, Joseph, Reddit is Harold Lauder, and Wash in the Wind.
Is this Vanessa?
I'm sorry, I was busy Googling pictures of the girls from Fear Effect. And
that would make a great versus game, for sure.
it looks not like I expected it to look, actually. It sort of looks like Borderlands graphic style.
Wasn't
So
Fear
shaded.
Effect a game show in the...
That's
in
Fear
like the
Factor.
early-
It's Fear Factor,
Fear
and I said it
Factor,
like
sorry, I was
8
thinking of Fear Factor.
times.
She did. She really did.
I really did.
Yep.
Andy M. Knopford, George Brady, Michael Crawford, Vanessa's fourth mom, Jameson. Oh my god, what is this game? Mary, Queen of Scoffs, to Jethro, Ron, Sean Gonzalez, Jared Collins, Dr. Fine, say everyone's name, to Bumpkins, just got back from an alt timeline where Jim loves Chrono Cross, but sadly drowned in the great washing machine flood. Pip is the best boy. Fight me. I won't. He is. Andy Best, Citrus C, Gage La Charité, Chris Penyak, PJ Enns, Huxley Iguana, Benjamin Avner, Sean Walsh, Double Eisenheiser's Masamune X Strike to the Heart. Look, I can't say these swords names. Don't put them in my group. Florian Jomas Kramer, The RPG Luminary, Ryan Miller, Eric Garby.
Vanessa yelled at me to change the name.
I did not.
You did.
You did.
No, wait. This is Vanessa's for real, 100% actual mom. You're not.
Hi, Vanessa's mom.
No, they're lying. They're liars. They're filthy liars.
That's not Vanessa's mom.
And Jake Dickerson.
David Green, Ashley T, Chili's, Baby Back Mario, Nathan Poirot, Chrono Cross makes Jim Chrono Triggered, Megan Sullivan, Jonathan Ellsworth, Patrick
Chrono
Loves Bears,
Triggered.
Sammy Mitchell, Sam Harrison, Aaron Bachman, Wonder Swan, Metal Gear Solid 1 in 2021, Robert Pullum, Miguel Torres, I challenge the other Tracy to a duel to the pain, Race Jenkins, Cameron Shoei, Cyril the Wolf, Omae wa mu shinderu, Robert T, Tom, Ross Hartley, Tyler Petty, Justin Ham, Bree Girth, Devin Sloan, everyone in the U.S. should know how to speak Spanish, Brian Pitt, Ward Childress, David Shook, Jim's embarrassing Amaranth back tattoo, Matt Jorgensen, Vanessa Mom, and Stu Skill.
All right, everybody, that's it for this episode of Square Roots. You can send us an email to have read on the air. We are squarerootspodcast@gmail.com. Come see us at our Facebook group, the Square Roots Podcast Group, for smart, cool, very attractive people, or tweet at us. We are at Square Roots Pod.
Yeah. Rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks to Richard E.B. for their cover of Scars of Time, which I thought was the battle music, but it's actually the intro. I just didn't watch the intro because it's full of spoilers, like all 90s Squaresoft games, or 2000, I guess. Find them at youtube.com/RACHAADEB, Twitter at RACHAADEB. And patreon.com/RICHAADEB.
John, that is a good point. They used to put all the spoilers in those cutscenes that they'd want to put in the gameplay
highlight
demos.
reel. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I haven't watched the intro. But that song's real good.
It is. All right, everyone. That's it for this episode of Square Roots. I am Jim Banks.
I'm Matthew Van Zant.
I'm Johnny Brandon, and I'm very sorry for not playing the whole chunker.
I'm Vanessa, and I think that you're being way too hard on yourself, Johnny, because the rest of us barely ever play the chunkers.
Mm-hmm.
That's true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
But we try.
Mm-hmm.
We try.
Sometimes we try.
And I tried. I got to
You
Nikki,
tried
and
really
I got the
hard.
mermaid lady.
You tried harder than I would have in your circumstances.
Yeah.
You had to listen to us talk about playing PUBG. Bye.
Yeah, listening to them having fun playing PUBG while I'm playing Chrono Cross, which is a fun game, but not as fun as playing with my friends, sucks.
Yeah, it's like being grounded and all your friends are outside and they're like,